Now, I gotta say, I never thought they could commercialize a holiday more than they ever did Christmas, but they have done it with 420 over here in the States. I can tell you for a fact that I just spent $30 on almost 12 Ace this last week with what our dispensaries. They had all their sales.
$30 on each?
No, for the whole thing.
So
now, according to the cultivation numbers, they may have been cultivated last year.
What is 20 Ace? Is somebody do the math? Is that
it's more than I'm supposed to carry? I think.
I mean,
that's 5 grams.
8/8 is equivalent to 1 ounce. 28.
Yeah,
five ounces. In my bad. It's a QP.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well,
so you bought 5 ounces for $30?
My wife and I had we had empty recommendations, so we filled them at discount prices.
Woo!
How do we do it?
That's
Volume.
pretty good, man. I
Yeah.
wouldn't complain about that.
Well, it happened to be from a dispensary who sat on their cultivation for about a year, waiting to open up, and now they've got 20 stores, and now they've got to try to jump and get a big piece of the market because that's what it's all about here.
Why don't we ever just say the name of the dispensary?
Because
we're so scared.
Because they have to give us money for us.
Yeah, exactly. Give us money, and then we'll.
Are we bad mouthing them right now? I don't know what's going on.
We're bad mouthing them because they haven't sponsored us yet. If anybody wants to sponsor us, Chris can fill you in on the details in regards to that. But you can be a sponsor of this show, and we will actually mention your name, not only orally but also on the crawl below. So if you want your name orally and crawled, we will put it on there for you.
Locally.
I don't know, but Gary saying the word orally makes me uncomfortable.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm glad he went on the crawl.
I don't think any of the viewers or listeners know what's happening right now either.
Well, let me just explain. First off, my name is Gary Stein. I'm the political director for Suncoast Normal here in Tampa, Florida. Actually, here in Ybor City at 1714 East 7th Street in Tampa, Ybor City, right across the street practically from the biggest gore file of Harry Anslinger, and that is that of Chris Licata, who killed his family with an axe, all because of the fact that he ran out of cannabis, or so they say.
They still don't know what's going on.
They still don't know. Anyways, we are here doing the rotation, our weekly podcast where we talk all about all things cannabis, policy, and everything else you could possibly imagine. And to my far right, your far left, feeling very uncomfortable next to some of our guests today, is Carlos Angel Armida, our executive director, our deputy director, engineer, and still on a learning curve. And we're great to have him. And above me in my upper right hand corner there is our executive director, Chris Cano, coming to us from Southern Maryland, where he is above the Beltway, hitting him below the Beltway, and keeping a close eye on those folks in DC who are really screwing up this country. While we are here in Florida, showing us how we are really screwing up Florida.
Indeed.
And right below us right now is a special guest who is really special because we didn't actually schedule him until next week. So he's here now to let us know what's going on. Coming to you directly from Amsterdam. Am I correcting that properly? Because I do have some Danish relatives.
This is the rotation going international.
Yes. So direct from Amsterdam. Not too far. A stone's throw from the central.
Sound like a dog with peanut butter.
Sounds like a Nazi.
Yeah. Well, every in my family, anybody we knew from that area ends up being one, at least. As far as I know.
Big up all the Dutch.
Great.
Let's just say that the Aryans are still out there, okay? They're still out there.
So what happened? Let's get focused. So Captain Hooter, you are not scheduled to be on the show today.
No.
But you're here anyways, right?
I did a drive-by. And the truth is that I got an incredible bong yesterday, and I have not been taking bong hits for a long time, and this thing devastated me, and it completely put me into this time warp continuum, and somehow I was a week ahead. So since I was here, I just thought I would, come by, do a drive-by,
And,
Send my
and,
respects
and we appreciate that for those people who have not had a chance to meet the captain, who, by the way, he has a great presence on YouTube. This gentleman made it his mission a couple years ago to visit every single coffee house in Amsterdam and sample the wares. And I'm not talking about the coffee because, from what I understand, the Amsterdam coffee shops are narrowed.
But the weed's good, right?
the weed is good. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's been a little weak lately. You know, it's interesting because there's not a lot of testing done here, right?
Really?
And
now the coffee houses are actually stocked by the legacy market and not by a legitimate market. Is that correct?
correct. And so everything is still completely fucked here, and that the growing aspect of it is still illegal. And
Just so you know, you can say "fucked" on our show.
okay, fantastic.
Just wanted you to know that.
That will come up.
Yeah, we don't give a shit.
The whole process is just backwards. And you go back like 25, 30 years, and these guys were ahead of everyone in the world, right?
Yeah.
And they had this incredible system that was working beautifully. And then as everything has now evolved, what's happened is, especially in the last couple of years, is that a lot of the buds from California, from the States, and from Canada that are not getting approved for whatever the reason, which are then supposed to be destroyed, right? They're ending up here
somehow.
Yeah. And there's I mean, I'm a professional interpreter, so to me, I don't care what the name is of the flower. I don't care anything about any of it. I break that thing open, microscope goes into it. That's the truth of what you're looking at. And over the last 6 months, I can tell you that I have shot, I have to say, honestly, 75% of the buds that I've been shooting here have been overripe. Amber trichome heads, for the most part. There's been a ton of great buds here also. And the local growers and the boutique growers here are spectacular. And, they really know what they're doing. And as you know, there's some true magicians that live here, but you have to find them and you have to kind of hunt and peck. And there's a lot of new education that's taking place here.
For the education of our voters, Cap, when you say shooting, you mean taking pictures, because the Anti-Drug Alliance would be like, they're shooting marijuanas now.
yeah, it's micro. So I take micro shots of the flower, and I use a process called stacking. So I have a microscope, I'll shoot 200, 300 photographs of the inside of that flower. And then I stack it so that I'm able to look at it in a kind of a 360-degree aspect. And it tells you everything that you need to know about that flower.
And some of those trichomes are cloudy with a less chance of dankness, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny because I have a couple of other interpreters here, and I've been working with one in particular. His name is Herbert Green, and he's a professional interpreter. And this year, he's the actual judge for what is called the High Life Cup, which is the longest running cup here in the Netherlands. And he's the one that's actually judging, and he's got a ridiculous number of categories, and he allowed me to pick 3 of them to judge with him. And I picked Cali strains, house specials, and Cali strains that were grown in the Netherlands. And I use the microscope. He has an incredible nose. His aroma perception, his taste perception, his overall knowledge is phenomenal. I would put him up against any top sommelier in one of the finest wine shops in the country. And he's hilarious. Some of the terminology that we've been coming up with for the buds, like what was the one he did the other day? We're smelling a bud and he goes, "I'm getting a little toe jam in this." But
now that's sensitivity for you.
It's like good toe jam. It's the good toe jam. It's like, And it was like, whoa, we're getting it.
I'm gonna need a definite whole new descriptive category for that. But we want to let you go so we can go ahead and get on to our other now. However, I should mention that we do happen to have a copy of the captain's book here.
Boom.
Now, this is a first edition, so this is very special. Is there a second edition yet? Don't tell anybody.
I wrote a second one, but I did it as an article.
Oh, okay.
And I went because there was about 60 of those that didn't need to be seen again. There you go.
And this, of course, is Captain Hoder's Connoisseur's Guide to the Amsterdam Coffee House, where he goes to every single coffee shop and eats and takes care of some of the strains there, and goes over and with a deep dive into those strains and how well they handled it, how well it was served, customer service, you name it. And that's all right here. And you can get a free copy of this if you're one of the first $100 donors in our current fundraising push here at Suncoast Normal.
That's right.
That is your version of our tote bag.
Very good, very good.
Fantastic.
And Cap does more than just shoot weed porn, as he said. I mean, you really do get the cannabis connoisseur experience. So, right now, if you go to suncoastnormal.org and you click that donate button, if you're the first person to donate $100 a day, you will get that free copy of the Cap's book in addition to your other $100 prize pack. So.
All right, Captain. I know you're already awake and baked. Hopefully, it wasn't sativa because you probably should get some sleep.
No way. It's only 5:12 here. We're just getting started.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Wait. Hold on. Vinny got a question here.
Okay.
Real quick, Captain, before you go, I know now that I understand that you've done extensive research in the coffee shops and houses out there, I'm sure you've come across the space cakes and other things like that. Have you ever came across a Kushy pie yet in one of the coffee shops in Amsterdam?
A Kushy pie, and that specific brand. I can't say that I have.
Now we have a new goal to get.
There you go.
We need to get some Kushy pies out there so the captain can try them out there.
Okay, so two things I'll tell you. One, yes, and I can help you with a couple of coffee shops getting them in here. The other one is in Europe next year, Spanibus. I was one of the judges this year at something called Munch MUNCHN Roll ROLL Munch and Roll Cup.
Munch and Roll.
It's one of the first culinary cups, and look into that. And I highly recommend that you enter into that competition.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to go to Spanibus so bad.
If you look right now online at Fat Nugs magazine, my article, I just wrote an article about Spanibus through my eyes. I judged several different cups and I talk about all the crazy shit that was going on there. So it's a really cool article. It just came out yesterday.
Well, Captain Hooter, I look forward to talking all about this stuff next week.
We'll see you next week, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
Kushy pie, Kushy pie, Kushy pie.
And that brings us to our on board guests today. We have the driving force from Kushy Pie, Hannah.
That's you.
Hi.
And her main distributor and our friend Vinod. How you doing today, buddy?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Now Vinnie has just come back from a major learning curve experience, and that is dealing with our legislature in a way that actually changes things for the better, and found out that it actually can happen. Now, for those of you who don't remember, because we were talking about it the last couple of weeks, there was a hemp bill that hit the session this year, seemingly out of nowhere, but obviously it did come from somewhere. That basically was going to put major caps on any CBD based cannabinoids and eliminate some, ban some, pretty much create criminals out of people who are currently buying things legally right now. And so Hannah and Vinnie went to tally, kind of like Mr. Smith goes to Washington, all starry-eyed and ready to knock it all out. How'd it work out for you?
I mean, ultimately, I guess we're where we wanted to be, but we felt very beat up and defeated and frustrated. And like at one point you feel not heard. Other times you feel just outright lied to. Like these legislatures, the representatives, the senators, these guys are elected by the people to go and do the will of the people, but they overwhelmingly did not seem to listen to the people, at least for the first, what was it, 4, 5 committee meetings that it passed through. So,
this is a very confusing process.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos
Very,
too.
very confusing process.
At a major place in the talking on the news and in front of the legislature, and you guys really knocked it out. I was really impressed with how you stood your ground. I mean, Vinnie, this is a hilarious thing. We once went to an event put on by Jamie Grant, who was a powerhouse in the House, and Vinnie came right up to him and said, "Sir, I don't like your bill." And that was the end of the conversation. And the dude just stared at him and said,
Jamie, you had red hair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're
okay, I
sitting there
remember.
munching down on spanakopita and baklava because it was a Greek event.
So-
And yeah, it was the baklava was primo. but the look on Jamie's face when you went ahead and approached him like that, I think he said to himself, "I wonder if I should stand my ground."
I mean, I think I had
But he
a jacket
didn't,
on.
so he kind of backed off.
I think I had like a sports jacket or a blazer on, so at least it was a little more,
Less threatening. Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, Vinny can be very less threatening sometimes.
Oh no, what happened? The internet lagged. What's going on, team?
Super
Oh,
less
there we-
threat.
Now,
Yeah.
I was wired in here.
Oh, internet was lagging. It's all good. We're back now.
all right, so the tape.
So
we'll be good on the tape.
I was very, very impressed with at how you guys took to this whole lobbying thing. Any of like as Gary and Kano and actually everybody on this podcast now could attest. Typically when I'm up in Tallahassee with you guys, I'm kind of following you guys around and staying quiet and trying to avoid the it's a lot like sales. This lobbying thing is a lot like sales. You knock on a door, you walk in, you act like you own the place, you shake a hand, and then you say, "Hey, this is why you should do this." so it's and I suck at that. But with the little bit of knowledge I know about the Capitol and with you guys' expertise, Vinny's like a great salesman. You guys really took to this lobbying thing and this whole hemp thing as a whole. Like, it was interesting because it wasn't like a one effort. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of people right now trying to take credit for what happened.
And the only step that you guys forgot was the money handoff. It's kind of like it's done almost exactly like a drug deal. Basically, you palm the check, you shake the guy's hand, and when you take it away, your hand is empty. He's got your check, and your bill is done.
Look, I'll tell you this much: if I was a Florida legislature and you come into my office and you pass me a Kushy pie, I am going to listen to whatever the hell you got to say. And then afterwards, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll probably vote for your bill. And I think that was the one missing legislative strategy in all of this, is that we should have passed off some Kushy pies to these assholes that wanted to ban hemp products and be like, "Do you see how delicious this is? Why would you want to make this illegal? What is wrong with y'all?"
The reason why I say it was such a confusing process is because Hannah, that Zoom meeting that you put together with Senator Burden, I distinctly remember her saying that there's no way that we're going to have THC more THC than the medical marijuana dispensaries are allowed. So right then and there, I was like, okay, we're in this fight. We gotta bring it to them. We can't compromise on the THC caps. And it just seemed like it was gonna be some sort of like weird compromise, but they gave us what we wanted
eventually.
And here's the thing that I just want to say. I was doing what was in the best interest of our business. So, anybody could have said no THC caps. Anybody could have said, whatever, 800, whatever it was that your number was. But the max that I put in my Kushy pies is 200 milligrams that I sell to the public.
Mhm.
So if and I know if I use Delta 8, that's a 3 or 5 to 1 ratio. So, I felt like that was a great number to throw out. But ultimately, we wanted no THC caps. But if we had a compromise on something, 200 milligrams?
I mean, at that point, they were also proposing 2 milligrams for the
Right.
whole container. So
Yeah, it went from 2 milligrams to 25 milligrams to no caps. So you all did an amazing job, like staying the course.
It's kind of like having Henry Clay, only with as a hemp farmer.
I gotta say though, like I don't think it's time to relax.
No, not at
Well,
all.
I can
think-
tell you for a fact, and this is the bearer of bad news kind of situation, that the current Commissioner of Agriculture, Wilton Simpson, was very much in favor of the bill and the way it was originally presented.
Yes, he was.
And he continues to feel that way. And so, even though we've finished all the committees now, and we've gotten strike alls that have taken away everything out that we didn't like, it is still a possibility that there could be what is called a floor amendment, where there's a strike all that automatically puts all that shit back in. And guess who won't be there to be able to talk against it? Us, because at that point in time, there is no more public input or outcry, unless you talk to some of the legislators who are going into that room and have them talk for you.
Right.
So Gary, let's pause on that for a moment, because not only can they put back the THC caps and hamper the hemp industry, but they are also pushing a resolution to up the amount we need for a constitutional amendment from already a super majority at 60% to 66 point whatever percent.
Yeah.
So they want to make it that much harder for direct democracy to happen.
66.3. They're going for the straight 2/3.
And I want to point out to both Hannah and Vinny that the representative in the House doing that is Rep Roth.
Red Roth,
Rep Roth.
wait.
the man who said to me, "You know something? Columbus was a great guy."
The guy that he loves Columbus, and he was the one that was specific about making sure that we didn't key into the medical marijuana monopolies.
Well, we had a great conversation. He said, "Do you know how many cities are named after Columbus?" I said, "I know 2 cities named Hell. That don't make no difference. One is in Michigan. The other one is in the Cayman Islands." But
Oh,
anyways,
yeah, I've been to hell in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, I've been to hell too. Yeah.
I like watching Vinny's microphone goes up,
It's a
and
warm
as soon as
place.
it gets to its lips, Gary cuts him off.
okay. So
Which is funny because he's usually the one that cuts everyone else off.
that is my job. Yes. My brain works, it's time to fire and I don't have any other choice.
I just wanted to come and just say, as far as the efforts at the Capitol, I think the main turning point for us is when we stop looking at it as we're fighting the legislators, and we adopted the mindset that we are going to work with the senators to educate them and explore the possible changes of the amendment. And the more we kept saying that to ourselves, and other advocates that were reaching out to the legislators, I feel like it changed a lot, because when we first got up there, we could tell they had definitely been reached out to by the public, by the hemp industry, to a point where they felt overwhelmed, they were pestered, they felt annoyed, and more importantly, people were just telling them, "You can't do this. No, 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 you're going to kill our industry." But nobody was actually explaining to them why. What were the numbers? What were the reasons that we had issues with? And at the end of the day, it just comes back to exercising our First Amendment right. You have the right to free speech. You have the right to assemble. You have the right to petition your elected leaders with your grievances and have them heard. And at certain times, we did not feel very heard. And other times, the senators, even the ones that were not going to vote the way we wanted to, they gave us the opportunity to help write the bills. Which, Gary, thank you so much for getting that amendment written so quick. Kano, you as well, for getting that to Senator Rousson's office that day. Within, what was that, 2 hours, an hour?
Yeah,
we
it
had?
was like
That's
nothing.
great.
But I know the stuff that we sent to him when they were on the debate part on the floor. The questions that were asked were almost verbatim from the talking points that you guys left, you guys sent to them, and the ones that we left in their office,
Yeah.
with a couple of the representatives, Cassell, um,
When during this whole process, when did you feel the most discouraged?
After the
Ooh.
last one,
Yeah, the last one for sure.
the one that he went without me.
Yeah, when you and I spoke up there,
Go with your strengths. Don't leave them at home.
I had to work, man.
yeah, she's somebody's
That was
gotta
the-
be
Gotta pay bills.
there.
The appropriations committee.
Yeah, that one because I feel like the reason why I felt the most disappointed in that one was two reasons. One, there was a large contingency of people there to speak out against this bill representing the hemp industry, whether it's farmers, retailers, food establishments. Um, and there was like 3 or 4 people that had spoken out in favor of the bill. So just numerically, that already didn't add up. But then the most, I guess, frustrating part was Representative Cassell when she went into her thing saying that she she's listening to the changes. She's working with Representative Robinson because at that point she had already put in changes to the amendment.
Yeah.
That included stuff that we were not aware of quite yet. But the way how she kind of said like I'm gonna vote this up. Like I'm paying attention to this. If this is not written properly, I'm gonna vote it down. But today I'm gonna vote it up. And like somebody in the audience screamed out, "You said that last meeting!" And it's like, she kind of like
Yeah, I
tried
heard
to,
that.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it was,
shouting out is not exactly appropriate.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
But it was the appropriations committee, so somebody did it. It was not me.
Yeah.
But she could look. She could read my face, the look in my face of just pure
Yeah.
disappointment. It
'Cause
really.
I was sitting right next to you, shaking my head,
You're
and
right,
she
both
made
of
a
us.
comment about
Like
us
you're shaking your head, no, yeah. And she
Yeah.
was looking directly at
yeah.
and Mike Thompson was there. Shout out Mike. He came up and talked and
Well,
Holly was there
discussed his
too, right?
concern.
why Holly only came to the first meeting. She said that
Okay.
her blood pressure couldn't handle it
Yeah,
anymore.
I get that.
I
But
understand.
Yeah.
what do you guys think that they gave us what we wanted?
I think there was a couple of things. It's definitely not any one person in particular, but I think collectively
We came
um,
together.
they
We're unified.
when people started pointing out to them that this is just an outright attack on our freedoms. Like first off, federally we're protected. We're operating under the hemp farm bill, that Trump passed back, and then that was the other thing that scared him. I went in there and invoked the name of Trump, like on the floor, like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't know if I got to remind you guys, or you guys are the Republicans, so you stand for small business and less government, and letting us do stuff. Well, why are you putting in these really harsh regulations when we're currently operating under a federal bill? You know what I mean? Like we have that freedom. Why are you trying to limit our freedom? If this is the free state of Florida, why are you trying to repeal us back? You say that Florida's open for business, but here it is, you're about to kill off 10,000 businesses. So I think those voices finally were heard.
Well, but just two
No.
words: 14th Amendment. Basically, what it basically says is that states have the right to make their own sovereign laws. Essentially,
Well,
my thing is why is it that Republicans are always on this a small government pro business plan, except when it comes to what you want to put in your body or who you want to put in your body?
Oh shit!
well, yeah, exactly.
Or which
I
one
mean,
to take out of your body?
sex.
Right?
Yeah, or what you want to take out of your body. Good point.
Now, I can tell you for a fact that I have actually gone through metal detectors over in DC, and they are pulling out jars of anal lube from almost every other briefcase that comes through there, and just dropping it in a candy because you can't bring it into the building for whatever reason. I don't know why that is, but it just kind of happens a lot in DC.
Gary, I have never in my life been at the
So
Capitol
uncomfortable.
security checkpoint and see someone get stopped for bringing in a tube of anal lube.
You have not been watching close enough.
But I do understand is that when
So
you work, when
uncomfortable.
you're engaging with the legislature as a constituent, you have to expect to get fucked and at least bring your own lube because they're not going to spit on it for you. I mean, that's really how it felt this legislature to a lot of small business owners. Like,
And-
damn, if you're gonna fuck me, at least spit my ass first.
Well, when they talk about pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, well, you know where the bootstraps are, right? You can't actually pull yourself up, so you might as well just hold on to them and just stay that way.
Oh,
That way, the anal lube works. But let's get into another topic. The whole idea is that we have state laws and we have federal laws, and we have a federal law that overwhelms everything. However, the state laws can overrun that as well, and that's preemption. And our state is very good at preemption. They're constantly preempting local government.
Yeah, especially when it comes to things like rent control. I know Orange County, the Orlando area, the county is like, hey, rents are rising too high. We need to do something so people aren't consistently getting evicted. And what does the state do? Oh no, you can't do that. You can't regulate rent control. You can't regulate the environment in your local city. Like, God forbid, we don't want to put shitty water in our drinking water in Tampa. The state wants to, stop people from being able to do that. It's ludicrous.
But but that are all we are still allowed in this country right now to have each state put together its own cannabis laws. And in this particular instance, they are doing preemptive hemp laws as well against the federal bill. And it's not just happening in our state.
No, I'm glad you brought it up, Gary. In Maryland, they passed the implementation bill for the voter-led initiative that legalizes adult use. Unfortunately, in that implementation bill, hemp products will only be available at licensed, dispensaries. So all of these smoke shops all over the state of Maryland right now that are selling Delta 8 hemp products are essentially going to have to take them off the shelves by July 1st.
Now, who would possibly give a piece of legislation like that to a congressman to make that happen?
Well, there are two major multi-state operators, MSOs as we call them, that run MMTCs in Florida, and one of them was founded by corrupt political officials that are currently one's in jail for bribing politicians, and then currently they're under investigation for being involved with bribing Andrew Gillum. And then the other one, it was founded by a former member of, I believe, the Russian mafia.
Russian corrupt money.
So those are or at least that's what I was told. By the CEO of one of these MSOs. It's like, oh, it's not our MSO, it's the other MSO run by the Russian mafia.
And we're torn because we want to really take these folks down, but if we mention their name, we have to get advertising dollars from them. So we're not going to say exactly who it is, or who their CEO is, or where their dog is.
I believe one of them is True Booth, and the other one is Curing Jack Shit. I think
that is a possibility. Well, to those people whose names we shall not mention, we are offering the very first rotation.
Here, put this in front. I'm gonna put it right up this. There you go. To your left foot.
Oh my God! Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
Great. Here, kick it over. There you go. There you got it.
Right. Oh, the dog's up here too, man. All right, there you go.
The very first genuine Ass Hat Award.
The Ass Hat Award. Beautiful.
Look at this ass hat.
It's a butt with a hat on it.
That's so cool.
Congratulations, really.
Now, I did that on my 3D printer. Number one, because we needed to give these people something for their efforts, because they did kind of lose as far as this was concerned, which is great as far as Florida is concerned, because that bill is not going in as it was originally given to those legislators who even admitted that they never even read the bill when they filed it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was told that this was coming from the governor's office. So somebody managed to get this into DeSantis's political team and then had them push it to them. And I'm thinking, well, who has the access to DeSantis like that? Because I know none of us have money to that. I know as much shit as we talked about him, he didn't give a shit about what we got to say.
Well, let's just say that his current hairdo is very similar to the Frisch's Big Boy guy.
Sure, yeah. Big boy.
And he happens to work somewhere in the Panhandle, very close to Alabama.
We're not talking DeSantis, right?
No, we're talking about one of his chief advisors in the House, Matt Gaetz.
Okay.
The rapist.
What I was gonna say was as far
pedo.
Yeah,
pedo.
The people that paid or encouraged the representatives and the senators to introduce these identical bills, everybody's caught up on the MSOs and the MMTCs, and I agree they're definitely going to benefit had that would have passed. But I think a lot of people are glossing over the language in there that states that cannabis extract or hemp extract will be treated as a food. Then there's a big bracket. It says specifically snuff, dip, and chew. Yep. So that right there in my ears, that right there,
cut and paste from a tobacco bill.
That was exactly that. It's a tobacco industry, because who is it that's going to stand to benefit if all they're going to be able to do now? That's what this bill was going to allow them to do, is to take away the tobacco and provide a hemp alternative to tobacco and then market it that way. But that's why when we started getting in there and telling them, asking the questions, well, what is an acceptable THC cap for you guys?
Mhm.
Um, people,
Nobody
that's
would
when we
say.
realized people were getting angry.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we realized like not all these activists are really out there for the whole hemp market or the hemp industry in a sense. Like
I'm glad you brought that up, Vinny.
all they were doing was trying to pave the way because this 2 milligram thing, it's like a pack of cigarettes. If you look at a pack of cigarettes from 30 years ago, it probably had 25 milligrams of tar, 50 milligrams of tar for the whole package. You look at it nowadays, it might be 10 milligrams for the whole package, 5 milligrams for the whole package. They got you hooked already. And we feel like that's why originally that proposed cap of what was it, 2 milligrams and
Yeah,
then up to
there's
25.
no originality when it comes to policy. Almost all those things you see out there were copied and pasted from somebody else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because there's no law against that, so to speak. In fact, they even encourage you to say, look, if you want to create a bill, go ahead, look at other states, see if you can find their language, and then bring it to me.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally find statements and testimony from True Booth in like Arizona and Virginia, basically pushing for an exact carbon copy of this bill. But yet they tell the activist sector here, oh no, it's not us, it's the other guys.
Yeah.
And Vinny brings up an interesting point because shockingly enough, this group that popped up, this lobbying consortium, Healthy Alternatives for Florida, they also have one in Georgia, is actually run by big tobacco lobbyists.
There we go.
That's
That,
very
now it makes
interesting,
sense.
isn't it?
That
And
makes
I
sense.
called that out.
And is it-
If you
isn't
ever
that
bought a
it?
Swisher Sweet and taken the tobacco out and used the leaf for something else, you'll know who it was who was involved.
And isn't it interesting that they weren't really transparent with how they were lobbying?
Not at all.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't want they definitely didn't want it to where it's still gonna be all the way, because then that means they can't just get away with saying, well, we're only gonna put 3 milligrams or 5 milligrams. That's the law. That's all we can do. And just that way you're forced to buy lots and lots of their
Yeah.
product. Like, I'm not opposed to tobacco or anybody else getting into the hemp industry. But what I am opposed to is when you try to get in and just lock everyone else out that's already operating. Like,
That
you know,
really
like I
have to-
believe in the free market. I believe in,
Yeah.
American capitalism. but
You
it's
do,
gotta
we
run.
do, we
I
do, but the wealthiest among us do not. I mean, let's be clear:
Oh,
is
yeah.
that there were even as early as the late 1800s, there was a consortium of businessmen saying our light bulbs last too long. Light bulb. There's an original light bulb that's been on for over 100 years still to this day. So they planned obsolescence in order to make sure they can sell light bulbs. No different than when your iPhone slows down after the latest update. Planned obsolescence and forcing people to buy more poison and more of people's products that they don't want or is not quality is really American business 101. And it's sad because small business owners like yourselves and like Carlos, you all provide quality products for people. People love engaging with you. When I go to events, people love to come by the Kushy Pie tent because you put out a quality product that's better than everyone else that's in competition. And I wanted to take that moment to ask you, how was the Florida Cup this weekend?
Amazing.
Oh man, it was so good, so
We
good.
had so much fun.
Like,
Yeah. So tell us about that. In Florida, we're still trying to get out of the legacy market, but we still have some great cultural events that the legacy market puts on. And I just want to hear more about, how was it, especially being in Tampa. I mean, it was, I saw the pictures. It looked pretty cool.
yeah, I feel like it was a great opportunity to, first off, I want to just say it was a legitimate event. Like, those guys pulled permits from the city of Tampa
Boom.
to get that big tower park.
Sulphur Springs.
Yeah, real quick, I guess I'll just take this moment to say, like, that was something I personally dreamt about, throwing some kind of music reggae party event there for about 10 years. If you can remember back in 2014,
Yeah.
when we
We
were in
did the first spliff.
yeah, well, I was thinking, if even a little further back, if you remember that building we were in one time, when they painted medical marijuana Tampa over the top,
Yeah, down by the dog track.
that's right across the street is where that park was that they
Yeah.
held the cup. And man, to see that type of culture, because it was a lot of like smoke shops. Like, one of the main sponsors was a smoke shop.
Sister Nancy came out and performed.
She
got a
killed
picture
it.
with her.
Yeah,
Now
that,
was that in the city of Tampa or was that in
Yeah.
Hillsborough County?
No,
no,
it's
city of Tampa.
Tampa.
Definitely the
Wow,
city of Tampa.
so
And I
Yeah,
mean, they were there.
Sulphur Springs is the city of Tampa, Gary.
thank you, Mayor Castor, for everything you've done for the cannabis industry.
I'm pretty sure Mayor Cassidy didn't know jack shit about that permitting process.
Well, now that I've said that, you won't sleep well at night.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if you could. If I'm gonna try to show that right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We see it. We
That's
see it.
Hannah with Sister Nancy right there.
Beautiful.
The
Beautiful.
guys. She did. She came on and rocked the house like with her classic songs and some original new ones. All of the artists. It was really good. Like, cause like the week before, we were in Orlando for the Florida Grows Festival,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and some of the other bands that had performed there, Cashed Out was there. A couple other just reggae bands, man. It was great, and to see all the vendors out there, uh, lots of different products. Everybody had their licenses on display, so that was good.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow, legit.
Yeah, no. I
yeah,
mean,
no, absolutely was.
I mean, when people would go and ask me, and he didn't agree with me, but people would say, "How is this possible?" And I'd point to my license, and then I say, "Did you ask all the other vendors the same question?" Because I mean, if you're asking me the question, you should also go and ask all the other ones
Yeah,
as well. I feel like that's
yeah.
the only fair thing to do.
And not all of them probably have done the paperwork. Not all of them have created a
I'm only
legitimate
concerned-
business.
and that's what me and I tell people. Look, I'm only concerned about myself and my business,
Yeah.
and I'm out here and I have no problem putting it, and that's exactly what we do at every event. We put our hemp license, our menus, and everything right out in the forefront so people can see we are a legitimate business.
Now, I should mention that when you see a ability to be legit like that, it's not a matter of the government trying to offer individual freedoms or codifying liberties, because that's not the reason they do things. I think the reason that almost every single cannabis law is out there is not because of individual rights, but because of the incoming tax revenue.
Oh, absolutely, Gary. Politicians are only motivated by being able to fund their pork projects and do it without having to raise general property taxes on their constituents. I've talked to politicians all across the DMV, whether Maryland, DC, Virginia, and the one thing that they all agree on is, oh my God, I can't wait till these cannabis taxes start rolling in. And that's the problem. In California, they have taxed the legal market back into the legacy market. And then you have these celebrities that will cut endorsement deals with these MSOs, these multi-state operating, MMTCs, and it sucks. You basically have Wiz Khalifa with Khalifa Kush on the West Coast once, and Primo Product is basically mids in Florida.
Mids
That's a
Khalifa.
goddamn shame.
Oh, Mids Khalifa. Yeah, no,
Mids Khalifa ass.
I'm sure, like, if you get the California grown, ones by proper growers, I would like to think it's amazing. But as far as the stuff that we've gotten in the Florida MSOs under the Wiz Khalifa brand, it is not.
And then they use
not comparable.
California branded cannabis against hemp.
Well, the
I know
laws
that's what
and
upsetted me.
the laws and the subsequent rules and regulations have nothing to do with the quality of the product. I mean, they might regulate heavy metals and things of that sort because they love being fucking punitive.
Well, let's talk about that, Gary. There's two key points out of this, and Carlos just brought up a great one in that in the legislative process this year, we saw the bill sponsors of the hemp bill, Senator Burton, we saw Commissioner Simpson, the agricultural commissioner, and the representative Robinson hold up California and New Jersey packages from the legacy market as proof that we need hemp packaging. And the sad part is I even saw my own uncle, who's a doctor, repost that bullshit on his Facebook page. Thank God I got a bunch of cousins who came to my defense and was like, yeah, Chris, you're right. This is bullshit. It's like, that's not what it is. Like, kids are not getting access to these hemp products from reputable business people like Hannah and Vinnie, like Carlos. If they do get access to them, it is an enforcement issue that these fucking franchise gas stations, a Shell and Exxon run on a franchise basis, have these folks selling them. I mean, you can literally walk into some gas stations and buy crack pipes still.
So
Yeah.
so this brings me to my next situation. Not about the crack pipes or anything like that, but
Yeah, because the Biden administration gives those out for free now.
say
That's right.
say
It's all
we
harm reduction.
say we go through all this crap that we went through. Say they don't sneak it in at the end of session. Say there's no special session where they sneak it in.
Yeah.
Right. What's to stop Wilton Simpson to just fucking enforcing the hemp industry into fucking shit?
Nothing is stopping them. I mean, as a matter of fact, the GOP did everything they could during Nikki Fried's 4 years to not give her the ability to regulate anything. She literally had to cannibalize other programs and other departments to create a salary for Holly Bell, to create the hemp licensing and permitting departments, which have licensed, like we said, close to 10,000 businesses, even your both of y'all's, sitting there. So I mean, that's the main issue, is that you have a lack of political will, or rather a political will filled with malice that can still come down from the ag department.
All the information about signing up for a hemp industry or a hemp business, right, is gone off of the FDAC website, right? I'm about to fill out for another permit for our store in St. Pete that we're going to be opening up, but I'm willing to bet that the permit that I filled out December in 2022, that is good till December 2022 23, says hemp bill, but this new one's gonna just say, it's just gonna say retail food permit.
Retail and food permit.
Right.
So that was also one of my concerns that I had emailed the senators about, is who's going to be regulating all of these food establishments that are now going to be selling all of the hemp and Delta 8 CBD products, because at that point then you're making it legitimately easier for kids to get access to this, because who's regulating these food establishments?
And there was a situation in the last meeting, the one that you were discouraged at, Vinnie, where Mike Thompson got up and started talking to the legislators about what's going on in the Department of Agriculture, and basically saying that, like, we found out that there, the amount of inspectors that Holly Bell and Nikki Fried, and this is coming from Holly Bell, by the way, that the number of inspectors that they allocated to regulate the hemp industry have been gone. There's like 20 positions that have been taken off. Right.
The Florida GOP is great at purposeful negligence. The same problem that you all have in the hemp department and the Department of Agriculture is the same problem we have in the Department of Environmental Protection in the governor's office. They purposely don't fund these things so that way they can destroy and develop and remake it in their own shitty image. And that's a damn shame.
Now
I used to work in the health department.
comes,
And usually, if you did an inspection, you gave somebody 20 days or 2 weeks to fix a particular situation. But if you don't have regulators who can come by and check, you can say, all right, we're going to shut you down until you come back to check you. And that won't be for another 2 months.
Right.
Yeah, well, what's to stop the Department of Agriculture when session ends to come in here and overregulate the shit out of Chillum to the point where we're not going to be able to sell hemp,
And where's the checks and balances, right? Like, who do you complain to say I'm being unfairly targeted by a government agency at the state level, right? Like, where do you go for relief as a small business owner?
Well, it's to that point as well. One of the situations that was taken because Holly Bell and Nikki Fried couldn't regulate the hemp industry. They weren't funded, right? One thing that they did was they put a portion of their website was for you to report, situations where, and anybody in the public could have done that. I'm sure somebody reported me on there for my mushrooms. I'm sure that's why they ended
Which
up
are for educational purposes only. Mycology is illegal.
Educational only. Right, that means that the Department of Agriculture cannot mess with my mushrooms.
Yellow teacher alert! Yellow teacher alert!
But that's gone too. That's part of the that was taken out. So I mean, you can't really even report hemp businesses anymore, which is weird because they're so concerned about these hemp businesses being like the Wild West.
Yeah,
and
they're so worried about the children.
Yeah,
and even the Wild West isn't the Wild West anymore because it's so. In California, things are so offhand. Oklahoma. They did a fantastic job starting up a medical program, but when they tried to move forward, they kind of like took it on the chin and fell back down again, which is really kind of a shame.
Well, what really
I always find conservatives talking about, oh, we don't want the Wild West situation, but let's do permitless carry.
I was just gonna say open carry.
Yeah,
We are
Well,
definitely gonna get
I'm just
one
saying
step
that-
close to the Wild West.
What about the children? The leading cause of children is fucking bullets, guys.
The only thing that we want to be
The
like
leading cause
Wild
of death
West
in children is bullets.
I wonder if all drag queens were armed, they might be more, inclined to appreciate their art.
I'll tell you this much, Gary. The next time Nazis come into drag queen story out, they're gonna fuck around and find out.
I say we all just go and buy a bunch of guns after this.
Well, I can tell you for a fact that for some odd reason,
Well, that's the messed up part. We can. Everyone here can essentially go out and buy as many guns as they want after this. But God forbid that you want a Kushy pie with 200 milligrams in it, or you want to get a mushroom joint, and have a nice Sunday afternoon at a car show in Ybor. Like, what the fuck, Republicans?
Well, if you're an originalist, there is a reason why the First Amendment was first.
If you're an originalist, then you should know that Thomas Jefferson and George Washington smoked mucho weed, and Washington smoked so much goddamn weed his teeth rotted out, and he had to take his teeth from slaves, not wood teeth like we were taught in schools. He literally paid a guy to take his fucking teeth, and the reason we know this is because there's receipts for it.
Oh no, do you get that from drunk history or uncomfortable history?
Oh no, I got that from Mount Vernon. I seen the goddamn teeth myself.
We started with the First Amendment. We tried talking to them and to tell them, hey, leave us alone. We're not going to give you any more of our hemp. Leave us alone. And then they said, no, you got to keep paying us that. You got to keep growing and giving it to us. And then that's when we started exercising our Second Amendment right. So
the whole American Revolution, exactly.
George Washington and those guys shot at the British because they were fed up of paying the tax on the hemp. Like, dude, I'm growing all this, and you're telling me I have to give you 16 acres worth out of my 100 every time? No.
And I gotta process it on the house on my side.
Do that? No.
Yeah.
And plus,
you didn't like that.
And plus,
and I fought one war, but two. We forget the war 1812 was all about the British embargo. The French embargo to Russian hemp fields against the British, and the British were pressing American sailors to smuggle hemp for them out of Russia.
They were kidnapping them and forcing them to use their vessels to transport that hemp to England because of the fact that France wouldn't sell it to them because they were in league with Russia at that point in time.
That's right. The Treaty of Tilsit.
They literally kidnapped American soldiers because we were trying to be neutral. That's because we smoked hemp. We use it for our clothing. We use it for our paper. I don't think they had hempcrete at the time, although they did have lime. They just didn't use it.
Every now and again, you got to remind the folks that, hey, man, this whole country was based off of hemp. And when I say that, I mean the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution were literally written on hemp.
Oh, heck, go back farther than that. The European Renaissance was funded by hemp. Hemp was the central for the entire European economy during the Renaissance.
And speaking of hemp, you guys got any Kushy pies?
Yeah, we got some stuff here for you.
I'm just saying the time's running low. I haven't had a Kushy pie yet.
Break this stuff up, baby. Show them what.
Well, you know what? While y'all get those Kushy pies distributed, I think it's time for the news, Carlos.
I'm coming.
I love this graphic, man. Wait till you see my.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you the normal news. Delaware in the news. Democratic Governor John Carney, who has previously vetoed legalization, has said he's going to allow the adult use legalization bill to become law without his signature. So we're adding Delaware to our states of legal adult use, which is great, especially being bordered to Maryland and New Jersey, which are already adult use states. So as we move forward, great news there to see the DMV and the Tidewater really stepping up. Now, today we've been talking a lot about how hemp and hemp businesses have been regulated and how coming out of legislative session, small businesses like Kushy Pies and Chillum are affected by government regulations. However, one thing I do want to talk about is a analysis published in the journal PLOS1 showing that some retail cannabis products coming out of these multi-state operators and other MMTCs actually contain lower levels of THC than authorized. That's right. That those high THC levels that you might see in some of those Florida products are actually mids and booth being pushed to you as quality bud. And that is a goddamn shame. Several studies assessing the potency of unregulated CBD products have also reported similar discrepancies by analyzing products sold in Nevada, Washington State. The fact is that NORML has long called for greater standardization and oversight among cannabis testing labs. In fact, here in Florida, we had a lab that was chastised for giving the MMTCs the results that they want, on some of these products. So independent quality labs and credentialing those labs is vital. Moving on to other news. Patients with Parkinson's disease report symptom relief and use fewer opioids following cannabis treatment, according to new data published in the Journal of Clinical Pharmacology, coming out of research from the University of Buffalo School of Pharmacy. So, again, something that we all knew, but the data when they say we got to study this more, there's not enough research. Every single week I'm giving y'all new data, new tips. Here's another one. Patients with inflammatory bowel disease show that cannabis is promising in treating their symptoms, according to recent studies published in the journal Curious. The New York Institute of Technology, College of Osteopathic Medicine, as well as other 9 universities have reviewed results from 29 studies published between 2012 and 2022 that showed reduced clinical complications following cannabis treatment for those with inflammatory bowel diseases. Going next is coming from the Journal of Cannabis Research. There's observational data coming out of Louisiana State University that shows safety and efficacy of certain proprietary topical CBD products, helping bring significant relief to former elite level athletes. Shocking. You can get some great topicals and rub it on your joints if you're a former football player. So, that is essentially the science side of the news. Next, I want to move on to the political news. The HOPE Act has been reintroduced into Congress with bipartisan support. This is the Harnessing Opportunities by Pursuing Expungement Act, sponsored by Representative David Joyce, Republican from Ohio, and AOC from New York, which allocates $20 million in federal funds over the course of the next 10 years to provide grants to state and local governments to help expedite the process of providing relief to those with low-level marijuana convictions. Let's get people's records expunged. If people went to jail for trying to pay their bills with weed money, then you should not have multi-billion-dollar businesses paying their bills with weed money without expunging those people's records. So, shout out to AOC and the Republicans for getting that right. Now, the Veteran Medical Marijuana Safe Harbor Act has been reintroduced in both chambers of Congress. This is legislation introduced in the Senate by Senator Brian Schatz from Hawaii, and in the House of Representatives by the Cannabis Co-Caucus Chairs, Rep. Barbara Lee from California and David Joyce, Republican from Ohio, which provides a temporary 5-year safe harbor during which veterans will not be punished for state legal cannabis use, and VA doctors will be able to officially recommend medical cannabis in accordance with state laws. Now, this is similar to another bipartisan bill known as the Veterans Equal Access Act, which is actually co-sponsored by Representative Earl Blumenauer of Oregon, who's a Democrat, and Representative Brian Mass from South Florida. And this bill, with 15 other co-sponsors, is bipartisan legislation that expands and facilitates medical cannabis access to military veterans suffering from chronic pain, PTSD, and other serious medical conditions by allowing physicians affiliated with the VA to recommend cannabis in compliance with state laws. And we're actually going to have Rep. Blumenauer and Rep. Mass on future episodes here coming up. But we want you to ask your representatives, Carlos, if you could flash that link across the screen, or ask you to contact your representatives, click this link, send an email to folks, let them know, tell Congress the other link that I sent you earlier, the one for the Veterans Equal Access Amendment.
Oh, shit. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
So again, folks, you get that link there. Tell Congress not that link. What's the other one?
Hold on. I got it. One second.
You had it. There you go. That's the one, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Carlos has got it.
Don't wait on me, guys. Don't wait on me.
Wait on what?
There we go.
Bam.
There we go. Support the Veterans Equal Access Act. So also shout out to Rep. Blumenauer. He's got another bill that he's introduced called the Small Business Tax Equity Act, which would create an exception to the IRS Code 280E that will allow marijuana businesses operating in compliance with state laws to take business deductions associated with the sale of marijuana. So, Hannah, as you do your business taxes, I'm sure this is one that, and Carlos, you as well, would definitely benefit you all, in moving forward. Once we get the opportunity to have access to, over-the-counter THC and such. I mean, rather than having to worry about hemp products. But hemp products, like you said, are licensed food establishments, so you all aren't necessarily affected as much as the MMTCs and other cannabis, operating in adult use markets.
Yeah, the MMTCs are still dealing with the 280E tax code, which basically puts them in the same category as heroin dealers.
Yeah.
In fact, they cannot deduct all their business expenses. So
yeah, and we've seen it Harborside in Oakland. Steve D'Angelo, he's been fighting for years, has spent millions of dollars in fines and taxes over this issue. And this is great, bipartisan legislation. Rep. Blumenauer, along with Barbara Lee from California, and Republicans David Joyce from Ohio and Nancy Mace from South Carolina. So nice to see some bipartisan movement coming out of the Cannabis Caucus. So, and I just want to end the news there with one final note, in that we recently lost a National Normal board member and someone who has been a fixture in Florida for over 25 years and helping to push legalization, advancement of civil rights, and that is Norm Kent, who recently passed away in the last couple of weeks. I know we had a tribute to Bobby Tuna last week, but we mentioned Norm, and I just want to say Norm was an amazing author, also a publisher, LGBTQ rights activist, and also won the Lifetime Achievement Award from Normal. So Norm, fly with the angels. I know you're probably up there organizing one hell of a party. So we appreciate all the contributions.
An original founder or something?
Yeah. Norm actually founded the Normal legal conferences that we had. He founded the first one that we had back in the 80s. So, I mean, this guy has been at it for a long time. And I have some very big shoes to fill in trying to step up to the national board, here in Florida, in that we no longer have Norm, but I believe myself and Nikki Fried are going to do our damnedest to bring a new generation, to the table at National Normal and really revamp things as this organization moves forward. And so,
and I think that he took his Panama hat with him. So wear it well in heaven, Norm.
Indeed. And on that note, let's get to the Kushy Pies review, Carlos.
Let's do it.
Yummy.
We got all kind of flavors today.
Wait, you guys want to?
Okay. I gotta say that
this is gonna be my segment for scrutiny.
Yes,
It's been a while since we've done that intro.
That is what we hired those violinists, and they've been sitting in the back for so long.
So me and Gary are gonna try some Kushy pie.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Now, tell us what flavors you got here. What kind of product is it?
It's a couple. There's 6.
Okay, so I have 6, and they're all 100 milligram jars.
Nice.
So we now carry 200, 100s, and we will soon start making. Is it 25 or 50?
Maybe both. I don't know.
We'll start off at 50.
I gotta say that when we had that event over at Battle Buds, Senator Burton was really impressed with your packaging.
Thank you.
I think it really melted her heart, saying, "Wow, that is such beautiful packaging."
So this is a banana pudding. It has chestnut
get up there and show it at the.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, I like the cookie inside. You can see through the
window. Yeah,
window.
Nice. Oh, the lighting in here. But either way, there's chessman cookies. There's three of them. We have a pistachio, and this is why I like to have my window, so the opaque packaging.
The pistachio one, by the way, is dope. I remember it from last time.
Yeah, I remember eating that too. That was pretty nice.
Strawberry crunch.
Yeah, baklava.
Strawberry. You got strawberry.
Love that strawberry. I like the chocolate mousse. That's one of my favorites.
So don't have that one on me today because we sold out yesterday.
Hey.
But here's our key lime pie, the infamous one. That's my favorite.
Infamous, especially in Keys.
Yeah, it's actually in the Capitol. When you go to the Capitol, it says key lime pie, the state. Like,
Yeah,
It's our state dessert. And I would like to say, Hannah, that the day I am governor of Florida, I will write an executive order saying Cushy Pies is our official key lime pie.
Oh wow.
yes. Peanut butter and chocolate with Reese's inside. So
Maybe
Is it okay if
pop
like
some of those open?
By the way, the
Try 'em
current
out.
is it
official
okay if,
dessert
like, our
of Florida
staff-
is strawberry shortcake.
That's why we brought spoons for them.
so is it
wanna
okay if the
share.
staff gets to
Absolutely,
enjoy a little bit
guys.
of cushy pie?
Get some spoons here.
Now,
I mean, you're the boss.
the official pie in Florida is the key lime pie, but the official dessert of Florida is the strawberry shortcake. Because
Thank you for that clarification, Gary. Appreciate it.
Should we
Oh,
just
okay.
dig in, or is there like a
Well-
strategy you guys want us to?
No, man, just
No,
try
Yeah,
whichever one you
taste it.
like.
whatever
Tell
jar
us.
you want.
There's 6 of them, man. Try them all,
What's
and
this
let's
one?
tell the people what it tastes like. And
I
Yeah.
picked peanut butter pie.
Yeah.
awesome. I think just kind of
Oh,
going back.
Oh, look at
yeah,
that.
look at
Reese's
that. Look
Pieces
at those
right on
Reese's
the top.
pieces in there.
Peanut butter pieces. We don't want to have any brand infringement, right?
Collaborative effect. I mean, I bought them from Sam's Club. It's
And for the record, per the
here's
news,
Reese's Pieces now.
there's no known cartoon
yeah,
characters.
no cartoon.
Everything that I have is completely customized, branded.
Just that guy.
So we are not infringing on another company
so
at
you
all.
did. That's why you didn't use M&Ms, because M&Ms are now
No.
available in cartoon form.
Right, and we
No.
can't. No, we don't encourage
You don't
that.
want to have brown M&Ms.
Try one out there, Gary.
one,
Which
grab
one you want
one,
to
take one.
try?
You know, that's the thing too. Cartoons aren't for kids anymore. Millennials are grown up, right? We watch anime is like one of the most popular things
That's
ever.
anime.
Why can't you have a Cushy Pies commercial with your sloths? You know,
Look at this. Look at this.
One of these days.
one of these.
My little
But we gotta
spoons
show you
out of there.
gotta
You
show
show 'em
You
that
need to have your own pickle, Rick.
It's a
Look at
really
this
good
strawberry. That's a
texture.
strawberry
It's
crunch showing there. Show the
Ooh,
window.
Looks
What-
delicious.
More bite.
Are the crunchies? Are those infused graham cracker crumbs?
No.
or they
That'd be a lot of work.
It's So when you try it, it'll taste like the strawberry crunchy Claire from like the ice cream man, like the ice cream truck.
Oh yeah.
That's what
the
that's supposed
ice cream
to.
guy used to come by when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Big Worm used to sell those.
That's exactly. This is the
Big
And
perm.
my parents used to say, "You can buy from the ice cream guy, but don't go in his truck."
How do y'all like that peanut butter over there?
I'm not certain exactly why, but
Yeah.
yes, any adult who likes to
That's
hang out
right.
with kids during the day, you never know.
That's because John Wayne Gacy was parading around the neighborhood.
That's he was also an ice cream man, I believe, at one time, along with
It's good. It's good.
Levi fucks with the peanut butter pie.
That's
that is
awesome.
that is absolutely fantastic flavor.
All right, so that was the strawberry. We got banana pudding. We got key lime.
All right, it's past
Going
the-
on cookies
Now,
and
at
cream
the
right now.
event that we had downtown,
You know, try strawberry.
yeah, I tried the pistachio. I think that was wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I love pistachio.
Carlos, flash that Instagram handle so folks can get in touch with Cushy Pies across the screen. They
Yeah,
might be interested.
Now, explain just in general terms, what is the essence of a cushy pie? What
And-
makes it a cushy pie more than any other pie out there?
Okay.
I'm glad she said that. Let's lead with that. It's
That
Kush
is
because
the answer that the question that
it's-
must be answered.
So
in order to
everybody, I'm sorry, everybody yesterday was like, what do you guys sell? And I was like, Cushy Pies, hence the name. And they were like, what? So I
What's in
showed-
it?
So I showed them the jar and they would say, wait, that's a
Strawberry
pie? I was
crumble.
like, yes, it's a pie in a jar. And it has Kush in it. And they're
Yeah.
like,
Is
what?
that like
The
the
techni-
jar? The jar is necessary to be cushy pie. Though?
yeah, exactly. It's technically you have to say when they ask what's a cushy pie, you tell them
It's a-
it's an infused pie in a jar.
Yep.
In a
Never-
jar.
In a jar, because usually like that's how I get them in. I was like, hey, have you ever had an infused key lime pie in a jar?
Yeah.
Because they want to say no, like no, I've had key lime pie
Exactly.
in a jar. You throw that jar in there because
In a jar. Have you
we-
had an infused key lime pie in a jar?
In a
On weed.
If you want good Indian ice cream, you got to ask for, the.
Nobody tried
it's
tried
for-
it.
Oh, I just had a light bulb. Hannah, I want an infused mango lassi.
For those
Okay.
Oh, we got a good
Yeah,
mango pie.
the
This
mango
is
lassi
key
is
lime.
ice cream,
That's
by
key
the
lime
way,
right there.
on a stick.
We need a mango lassi pie.
You cannot have mango lassi without a
The
stick,
banana.
and you cannot have a cushy pie without the cup.
My mouth is watering. Stop it, Carlos.
Oh, dude, Kano, I don't know if you
Yes,
like
man.
key lime. Kano,
I love
this-
mango
this
lassi.
is
Yes,
I
it.
man.
really, really do.
Oh yeah, that's what I need.
The fact that they actually survive, the heat of the Florida sun, I think is impressive.
Elon?
It's that stuff.
No, last time I went to Florida and I stocked up on my Kushy pies, I had to get me like a cooler and just put ice in it the whole 13-hour trip back,
Oh,
just so they can make it back to
I would like to
DC.
that's good balance.
I would like to put my key lime pie against Publix key lime pie.
Banana pudding is my favorite.
That'd
That's
be
my
tough.
favorite one.
You guys like key lime because this.
This is all natural ingredients.
It
Yeah.
is.
Oh yeah. All
Here
that.
has been derived from hay.
No, at all.
Hey.
No,
Hey.
hemp, Gary, hemp.
Well, it depends where you buy it.
The pistachio.
Pop it open, man.
Pop it open, man.
Show
Man, we should have got it. We should have did this at the beginning of the show because then we would have
Ooh,
been
look at
high
that.
right
Show
now.
them those pistachios.
Yeah, nuts. Look at that.
Uh-huh.
Those are wonderful pistachios.
Thank you.
All right, Levi, you fuck with the banana pudding.
That one's my favorite so far.
Awesome.
This one is
Ah!
for my wife Monique, so I'm not going to touch it. But
Come on.
I promised her a genuine pistachio cushy pie.
Take it
No,
off.
I know there are probably those with dietary restrictions wondering, are these kosher, Hannah? Gary, can you answer that?
What was that, Levi?
Okay,
1 second.
Let's just take a look and see. It says
All
I
right,
don't give a
Gary's
fuck.
talking.
Gary's always talking.
So our Muslim friends out there, consume at your own salvation.
Publix are run for its money.
Well,
Thank you.
is there,
That's what I said.
Okay,
I would like to put
Hannah.
it against Publix.
is there a meat and vegetable products and dairy products in this? So,
No meat products, right?
There's
no
definitely
meat.
no meat products.
all right. Well, and so far we passed the parva.
So there
is
is
not meat and milk that's mixed. However, has it been blessed by a rabbi?
no.
It was
There you go.
No, Vinnie blessed it.
Vinny blessed them all. He
However,
blessed
that
them
makes it
all.
halal, right?
All of you.
Vinny did get his rabbi certification online, so
I do also.
And for those of our Greek Orthodox folks, that's definitely a Greek tasting pistachio.
I also offer vegan and gluten-free products. I just want to put that out there.
boom.
We sold out of all of our gluten-free yesterday, our gluten-free pies and my vegan gluten-free cakes that I had. We sold out of those at the Florida Cup. So thank you everyone that came out to the Florida Cup and supported us. We had a phenomenal time. I think that might have been the highlight of my entire week. So,
Speaking of awards, Chris. Speaking of awards, we
That's
have
right. We do
we-
have
that's you.
the Cannabis Action Awards, which Carlos needs to flash across the screen as he stuffs his face with cushy pies. Cannabis Action Awards are coming to you live in Tampa Bay from Hooch and Hive, Saturday, May 27th. The award ceremony will start at 8:30 p.m. And I'm proud to announce here today that Kushy Pies has actually been nominated as one of the top small businesses in the industry.
oh,
So voting for right now, we're still accepting nominations, but starting May 5th, we'll start the voting process, and it will last for 3 weeks leading up to the event. So, come May 5th, for all those who have been nominated, you'll be able to go to our website and vote for your favorite nominees, and we're going to let the public decide. So for those who have been nominated, get your fans out there, move your networks, make sure that you win those Cannabis Action Awards. It's going to be a fantastic night. It's at Hooch and Hive, right there off of Cass Street in Kennedy. I'm pretty excited for this event, and shout out to the folks at Hooch and Hive for their partnership. Also, thank you to Chillum for coming on as a community sponsor, and most recently, community.
My bad. I went to take off.
No, that was the wrap it up. I got you, Carlos.
No. That was me trying to take the graphic off.
That was the wrap it up, B. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, you tightened the wrong sphincter on that one.
No, no, we gotta mention the new community sponsor because they're giving us money for the
That's right. So shout out to Chillum, and shout out to Sanctuary Medicinals for coming on as community sponsor for this event. We still are looking for a title sponsor. So if you feel so inclined, reach out to us at info@suncoastnormal.org. Hit us up through the website. If you're interested in being a vendor, we have vendor spots available for as low as $50. And if you're interested in sponsoring an award, if you want the award presented by your organization or individual, it's only $200 to sponsor an individual award. So again, there are so many opportunities to engage in this amazing award show to celebrate the folks in the industry who are doing right by the people. That's Kushy Pies. I believe Chillum has also been nominated. So I think there is some great organizations and businesses out there who are doing amazing in creating a culture for the cannabis space in this state, in this city, and we really appreciate all the hard work. Hannah, you have come out the gate blazing, no pun intended, and really blazing a trail for folks to follow, a model of how you do this right. How do you go from being an idea, legacy market to legit? And you have done that, and I am proud to call you a friend and a colleague. And Carlos, the same way, how you can take just the idea of the business and make it a reality. I heard recently you're just closed the deal on opening the keys to your next Chillum coming soon in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, we're gonna get running May 1st,
Yay!
but I got the keys, and pretty soon we're gonna have a Chillum in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, and also you recently launched a new educational platform. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's called Learn Euphoria. The whole situation with carrying the Amanita muscaria mushroom and with the Department of Agriculture coming in here and putting a stop sale down. And quite honestly, the fact that most of our customers can't even pronounce the word psilocybin, which is that chemical symbol. We see that there's a big need for psychedelic education.
Yeah.
That's how the cannabis movement really was sprouted here, and we really made progress by educating people.
That's how we all connected, through cannabis education.
So we're trying to fill that void and provide education. We're gonna have intro to psychedelics coming out in the coming month. We have a meditating on mushrooms class coming out soon.
Nice.
All online education. You don't have to be in Tampa for it. You don't have to be anywhere. You could just get it. If you got an internet connection, you can get this. And not to mention, we're providing the Amanita muscaria mushroom, the magic mushroom that
Mario.
Now you said not to mention, but you just mentioned.
For mycology purposes only.
for educational purposes only.
Yes.
FDA does not approve the consumption of magic mushrooms, so unfortunately we can't sell it for consumption purposes. But we think people need to learn about this stuff, so we're providing that for education purposes only. And
So we're educating the legislate, aren't we?
What
Question for you, Carlos. Question
Yes.
for you. I don't know if you've seen the advertisements for like the things called like mud water, but they talk about
Yes.
certain mushroom strains that we are allowed to mention, like reishi, shaga,
Mudwater has lion mane in it,
steps.
Yeah. Mud water, I believe, is primarily lion's mane.
So
which you can buy at any grocery store.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm forgetting to
you
get
can
my
buy here
lion's
at
mane.
Chillum.
And lion's mane is
Yeah.
actually good for like ADD,
yeah, brain function.
brain
Yeah.
functioning.
There's a lot of great mushrooms here at Chillum that we have available online and it's still available here in the store.
Come check us out.
There's a lot of it's not all mushrooms are magic. That's one thing that we try to promote here. All mushrooms have the ability to help. The synergistic relationship between people and cannabis and honestly between people and mushrooms is incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
You explore that.
And that's why Carlos is a fun guy.
Yeah, that was a
And-
fun guy.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Carlos, because the education on psychedelics, the education on mushrooms in particular, has not been as widespread. Really, it was a trail blazed by the McKenna brothers, but both Terrence and Dennis McKenna have spent many decades of their lives, studying this, trying to bring it to the mainstream. And there's so many things about mushrooms we still don't know. I mean, the largest organism on planet Earth is a patch of mushrooms out in Washington State.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch some of the other celebrity podcasts out there that are popular, they talk about these topics and such. So the fact that you're demystifying it, that you're giving folks the opportunity to learn how to utilize it, to educate folks on the products is exactly what the public needs at this moment. Just like we needed more education, a decade, 2 decades ago on cannabis, And so I would be interested to see where things take us, especially considering the legalization and decriminalization of psychedelics that's happening across the country. Here in the DC area, psychedelics have been decriminalized. I know in Oregon, they've decriminalized pretty much anything. In Colorado, they've recently decriminalized psychedelics. So, as we advance, it'll be interesting to see how that works. Prior to the Nixon administration really clamping down and launching the war on drugs in the 60s, Gary, the National Institute of Health, John Hopkins, your alma mater, was doing some amazing research out of Bethesda on end of life and helping people deal with the anxiety around death by using psychedelics. And there was some very promising research that was pretty much squashed when the Nixon administration launched its war on drugs.
And that was basically to back away from the concept of using morphine as an end of life medicine, because number one, when you pass away, when you're on morphine, you are barely even aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Let alone being able to say goodbye to the people you love and who loved you.
Yeah, my grandmother, that's how she passed, was essentially a lethal dose of fentanyl. That's what they give you now when you're suffering from cancer. They give you a lethal dose of fentanyl, you go to sleep, and you never wake up again. And that's what they call palliative care. But I mean, imagine taking a psychedelic trip in your last moments, being able to enjoy that. That's one hell of a wild ride.
Oh, that's a wild time.
Well, you're in transition. You might as well make the beginning of the ride a little more interesting.
Exactly.
So I just want to point out we haven't made the decision on what my favorite Kushy pie is.
That's
Wow.
what
Oh, it's time for the moment of truth.
It's time for the moment of truth.
It's time. It's time for Carlos's deep dive.
I first want to hear Gary's opinion. What's your favorite Kushy pie, Gary?
Oh my gosh, I really like the key lime.
Key lime.
It's got such a tangy.
That's my favorite.
And
It's got a tangy.
Levi's with a customer right now, but maybe I can.
But the
get him.
pistachio comes a very close second because
Yeah.
I love pistachio.
Maybe I can
love
get Levi's
baklava.
attention here. Levi.
Gary, it sounds like you like them sharp, citrusy, nutty flavors, right?
Absolutely.
Olivia, what's
All right.
your favorite? Okay.
So Levi's favorite is the banana pudding. Olivia's favorite is the strawberry. And Gary's favorite is the pistachio. A pistachio was honestly my favorite last time, but you guys did something to this banana pudding that I don't know what you guys put in here. I think it was a cookie. But this one is definitely my favorite by far. Yeah.
I think that anything that hits Carlos's mouth first is his favorite of the day.
And and this is pretty strange because like peanut butter pie is like typically my fucking favorite, and cookies and cream. I eat Oreos every single day. so this
is why he's on a strict vegan diet.
Numero uno in my book.
What's up?
No.
You see, you got a new favorite.
Now, don't they make Oreos out of lard?
What? No.
Let's hope.
No, Gary. They make Oreos out of like
Oreos are vegan.
maltodextrose in red number 5.
Yeah.
Red number 5.
Save stuff.
So
amazing.
Can I plug this real quick? I know
Yeah,
we're getting towards the end.
This is why you're here.
Come see Kushy Pies tomorrow, Monday night at the market at Battle Buds, and then you can find us Friday night in Wesley Chapel at the Markety Lane Crate at the Grove.
Oh, the
Cinco
crates.
de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo. We're gonna be out there.
Down the street from my friends over at Higher Flower.
That's correct. Yeah, right down the street. That's our buddy Chris down there at Higher Flower. We'll be right there around the corner from him.
Look for the pink tent.
Look for the big pink tent. There'll be like 160 vendors out there. Lots of fun, lots of food. It's a great time. So yeah, we encourage everybody. If you can't see us on Monday, come see us on Friday.
Yeah, the Golds have been doing a
And
great job of creating that whole space for you guys.
And if you're in St. Pete, we will be at Cage Brewing on April 30th.
If people want to get a hold of you guys, how can they do that?
Kushy Pies on Instagram is the numero uno way.
Yeah, that'd be the best way to read. At Kushy Pies.
Pies.
Oh yeah, at Kushy Pies.
I respond to all of my Instagram messages. Like I'm getting some as we
She's getting them.
Good. We're able to
quick.
increase sales.
Can we what's the word? Plug or shout out the Get Cherried event. We do the monthly holistic event in
Yeah,
St. Pete
we're
at the
we're there
grassroots
with
comedy.
Learn
Chillum was
Euphoria
there.
now.
Learn
Yeah.
that's it. Learn Euphoria is there, and that
Yep.
was pretty awesome this past Wednesday. So we're looking forward to doing more of
That
those going
that
forward.
I mean, think about that. Like you can go to a networking event and grab a cushy pie and some magic mushrooms.
That's it. Just kind of
Learn
chill
about
out, do some
mushrooms.
networking.
It's a
Exactly.
hell of a network.
The world this would be.
And I don't know. It's I think we've
Now
gone
it's time to say
very,
goodbye.
very much over time
We're
now.
over time, but we got to do one more commercial, and that is the fact that, again, we talked about the fact that we have a awards show coming up. It is $10 to get in, but if you are a member of Suncoast Normal,
Oh yeah.
what is your cost to get in, Bob?
Absolutely nothing. It is free for our members. And we're running a member special right now. If you become a member of Suncoast Normal, you can go on our homepage, suncoastnormal.org, click donate. Carlos, go ahead and flash those graphics for our current digital fundraiser. For $10, you can get a Suncoast Normal lighter, which is a nominal donation. Hey, every little dollar counts. Show them those amazing lighters. Cool. Take that caption down for us. And then if you get your member package, which is a $25 donation, okay, you're going to get your official membership card, your membership pin, and we're going to throw in a lighter and a medtainer for you. So you're getting a bonus by renewing your membership right now. We're running this special all the way through till the awards show, so till the end of May. Then we have a $50 package, which comes with everything in your membership package and a Suncoast Normal t-shirt. And for all of you who donate today, or rather the first person who donates $100, show them that $100 package. You're gonna get the t-shirt, you're gonna get the membership package, you're gonna get a grinder, and the first person who donates $100 today is gonna get a free copy of Captain Hooter's book, which is an amazing guide to all the coffee houses and strains available to you in Amsterdam. So we're pretty excited for that. Carlos, also we have a $250 package for those of folks who want to really contribute, and you're going to get an amazing glass rolling tray branded by Suncoast Normal. For those of you who really want to make this movement happen, become a sustaining member. You're going to get the glass rolling tray. You're going to get the membership package, the t-shirt, the grinder, the medtainers, the lighter, and we're going to mention you here on the rotation and put you in our Hall of Fame on our website as a sustaining member. And for those of you who don't like paying those pesky $25 dues every year, get it out the way. Become a lifetime member today of Suncoast Normal. Not only are you going to get all these amazing prize packages, but we will forever enshrine your lifetime membership on that ticker at the bottom of the screen every episode of the rotation, and give you a place in our permanent Normal Hall of Fame, Suncoast Normal Hall of Fame, on our website. So this is your opportunity to really make a difference this 420 season by pushing our advocacy movement over the top and donating to Suncoast Normal. And we appreciate every single dollar. Where you can give us $1 or become a lifetime member, your contributions all go into continuing our advocacy and pushing us over the top to make sure that we have a patient-centric system in Florida that provides safe, quality, and affordable medicine to everyone here in this state.
Now, if you are a MMTC or an MSO and you want to be on our show and actually have your name mentioned, which we don't normally do for people like, True Boof and what was the other one?
Cure Jack shit.
Oh, I thought it was Curalingus. Anyways, whatever works. The fact is, we will actually mention your name. We cannot guarantee that we won't try to knock you down if you don't do the right thing, but we will be watching you, and our stamp of approval is a hell of a stamp of approval.
That's right. If you do right by the patients, you will always have us. Our biggest issue is when you outsource cheap Chinese vape pens that leak, or you push mids that have mold and pests in them, and you try to sell that shit to sick people. And that's always going to draw our ire and criticism. And that's why we exist, to protect the consumers from bad actors. And I wish that we had more companies like Kushy Pies and Chillum that put the satisfaction of their customers ahead of the bottom line.
And our members go to Tallahassee and they make a difference, like Vinnie and Hannah did this last year.
That's right.
And Carlos, man, Carlos was
And
there
Carlos,
leading the charge. I want to take a moment just real quick, man, to tell you thank you and recognize you, dude, for going up there and making the difference. There was times when like we wanted to go, but we just couldn't go, and you still were there. But you attended every meeting for these bills, and we thank you because your impact was felt. It's
And I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
And we educated them because these people did not know what they had when they filed it.
They did not, and they admitted it. So thank you, Carlos, because I learned tremendously, a lot. First time in a Capitol, learned a lot. It was overwhelming, but we had a lot of fun. made
I-
the best of it.
You know what? I got to just real quick. I got to throw this out there. I think one of the things that made our visit so successful was Hannah's mastery of the Capitol elevator system.
Which is not easy.
She figured it out on the first day, and we were able to get through that. And
The proactive elevators.
some of the stuff from the Florida can, some of the materials that they had out there were very helpful.
Yeah.
In order to try to organize to figure out which representatives, which legislators we need to get in front of, how to get their emails and their assistants. Just going back to anybody that's trying to go out there and make a difference up there at the Capitol, even if you can't speak to the senator or the rep, speak with their legislative assistants, speak with their secretaries, leave your concerns, because believe it or not, those people behind the scenes are the ones that are really going to implement the change, and tell the senators, tell the leader what to go out there and actually say, because we saw it time and time again. Like, we spoke to 8 out of 9 of the sitting senators on some of those committees, and it was their staff is what really helped us. Besides the time we actually got to speak with the elected officials, so.
And I think it's really important to promote. I think it still kind of blows my mind sometimes, but that building is all of our building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is, if you pay taxes in the state of Florida,
People's house.
you are
It's the people's
as long as you are not wearing a shirt that says some bullshit on it, or you're not carrying some sort of weapon or anything like that, you can walk anywhere in that building, knock on any door, talk to any representative, any senator, any aide. You can, that is your place to be heard. And it's a difficult drive for anybody, just pretty much anywhere in Florida. It's a difficult walk from the parking lot.
And that money that you give us as sponsors and as
Yeah.
members, that goes towards that effort. That pays, for things like travel and anal lube and whatever else is necessary to get the job done in Tallahassee.
No, let's be clear here. No donations to Suncoast Normal goes to anal.
Have resulted in
That is right. That is
Well,
right.
there goes my dream.
But that is what democracy is all about. Not the anal lube, but the
you can go there.
you can go there, and you at least have the ability to look the guy screwing you over in the face and say, "Hey man, you're screwing me over. Like, can we figure something else out?"
Yeah, would you mind spitting on it first?
Yeah,
You can the key is to remain respectful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
be courteous,
Yeah.
and don't be intimidated. Like, the one day we went there when they had the cannabis display, there was like an army of probation officers there wearing tactical gear.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this? But I mean, now, mind you, right next to them, like, they were sandwiched. We had the big cannabis display on the right, and to the left of them, we had actual live hemp plants. Steve Edmonds Hemp for Water. There's a couple pictures of where I walked over with a live plant and like offered it as like a gesture, like an olive branch, but it was a hemp branch.
And the aides love that.
They did not accept it, but what they did do, this was before lunchtime. They left prior to lunch and they never returned for the rest of the day. But when we first got there in the morning, they were outside squatted up upstairs right next to us in the rotunda. They were, it was a big display of like, we feel that they were trying to intimidate us, but honestly, we went over there, we talked to them, we educated them, we asked them some questions, and they didn't accept it, but they left, and they didn't bother anybody. So I think just coming back, like, it comes down to, you can go to the Capitol, you can enact change, but just don't lose your focus, don't lose your bearing, because they're gonna do things, they're gonna attack you personally, they're gonna try to get you pissed off and get you frustrated. But maintain your bearing, be respectful, be courteous, and just hammer home your point.
Yeah. And that's shocking to me. I mean, I think that's a waste of a good cushy pie to walk in there and all of a sudden have your high blown.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a million cops and tactical gear.
We had some guys, man. They were getting mad, turning red in the face, getting huffy and puffy, and by the end of the conversation, though, their questions that had been answered, they understood, and guess what? They took those concerns back to their boss, and like, we heard their boss speak about it on the floor. Like, the talking point she spoke about was exactly what we left in there.
Nice.
So we know, it was again, this was not like a one person thing. In fact, we think the most effective day we had was when there were 4 of us. We had Pablo, the veteran gentleman,
1620 Marine.
1620 Marine, from Battle Buds. Carlos, Hannah, and myself, and I feel like that's when we were the most effective because we represented so many different aspects to present to our leaders, that it was heard. Hopefully, I feel like at the end it had to have been heard, because if not,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be here smiling right now.
And to end the show on this note, thank you to everybody, whether we agree with you or we don't, or whatever effort you put in to changing these hemp bills. We appreciate everybody that was in the fight. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And opposing opinions are good opinions.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And bye, everybody.
Happy
Bye.